Let us settle in, finding a comfortable position where the body can rest and the mind can begin to drift. Allow your breath to slow, inhaling deeply and exhaling fully, letting go of the tension of the day. There is nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to do other than to listen and to let your imagination wander through the landscapes we are about to explore. Tonight, we turn our gaze toward a world of shimmering surfaces and velvet textures, the world of high fashion and luxury. But we do not walk the red carpets or sit in the front row of the bright, flashing runways. Instead, we move slowly behind the curtain, drifting into the shadows that lie beneath the glamour. We are observers of the quiet machinery, the hidden hands, and the silent costs that weave together the fabric of this exclusive universe. Imagine yourself standing on a quiet street in a great metropolis, perhaps Paris or Milan or New York. It is late at night, and the city sleeps around you. The air is cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of rain on pavement. Before you stands a towering window of flawless glass, framing a single, impeccable handbag on a pedestal of white marble. It looks solitary, perfect, untouched by time or human error. The lighting is soft, designed to make the leather glow as if it possessed a life of its own. But as we stand here, in the silence, we begin to look past the object and into the story of its making. We let our minds travel backward in time, unraveling the threads of its creation, journeying to the places the industry keeps hidden in the mist. Drift with me now, away from the city streets, across oceans and continents, to the vast open plains where the story begins. Picture a landscape stretching to the horizon, bathed in the golden light of a heavy sun. Here, the earth is thirsty. We see fields of cotton, white as snow, but this is a manufactured winter. The silence here is profound, broken only by the wind rustling through the fibers. But beneath the beauty, there is a thirst that drains the ancient rivers. To create the luxury of soft fabric, the land gives everything it has. Imagine the water, once flowing clear and blue, now diverted, channeled away from the villages and the forests, solely to feed the crop that will become a shirt, a dress, a label. The ground is dry and cracked, a mosaic of parched earth, whispering of the cost of abundance. It is a quiet secret how much water it takes to clothe the world in luxury. As we move through this landscape, we notice the air changing. The scent of the earth is replaced by something sharper, more metallic. We are approaching the great dye houses, the alchemists of the fashion world. Visualize a river, moving sluggishly through a valley. But this river does not reflect the blue of the sky. Today, it is a deep, unnatural violet. Tomorrow, it might be crimson or the darkest shade of midnight. The colors of the season, dictated by trends in distant capitals, have bled into the natural world. The water carries the weight of chemicals, the fixatives and the heavy metals that ensure a color never fades from a garment, even as it fades the life from the stream. It is a surreal sight, a watercolor painting gone wrong, where the needs of commerce have painted the very arteries of the earth. Stand on the banks of this colored river in your mind. It is strangely beautiful in a melancholic way, the way the unnatural hues swirl and eddy around the grey stones. There is a stillness here, a sense that nature is holding its breath, waiting for the water to run clear again, a clarity that may not come for a very long time. Now, let us drift further, following the raw materials as they are gathered and baled. We float on the wind, travelling to the great industrial districts, the humming hearts of production. Imagine a building, vast and grey, its windows clouded with the dust of a million fibers. Inside, the air is thick and warm. There is a rhythm here, a relentless mechanical heartbeat. Click, whir, snap. Click, whir, snap. Thousands of machines are working in unison, a symphony of steel and thread. But listen closer. Beneath the noise of the engines, there is the sound of human breath. Rows upon rows of workers, sitting in the dim light, their hands moving with a speed that blurs the vision. These are the invisible artisans, the ghosts in the machine. They are sewing the labels that signify wealth, stitching the hems that will sweep across marble floors. But here, the floor is concrete, and the hours are long. Picture the hands of a woman, weathered and tired, guiding a piece of fine silk under the needle. She touches the fabric, cool and smooth, a material she could never afford to buy, a material that costs more per yard than she might earn in a month. There is a disconnect here, a profound separation between the maker and the wearer. The luxury industry relies on this silence. It relies on the distance between the boutique window and the factory floor. It wraps the product in a story of heritage and craftsmanship, often obscuring the reality of the assembly line, where the pressure to produce perfection, at speed, weighs heavy in the air. Feel the humidity of the room, the scent of machine oil and lint. It is a hypnotic atmosphere, where time seems to dissolve into the repetition of the task. 1 sleeve, 2 sleeves, 100 sleeves. The pile grows, a mountain of textiles rising toward the ceiling. We often think of luxury as rare, but here we see the sheer volume of it, the overwhelming abundance that must be maintained to feed the appetite of the market. Let us leave the factory now, drifting out through the ventilation fans, back into the cool night air. We travel again, following the journey of the goods that are made but never sold. This is perhaps one of the darkest secrets, the shadow of exclusivity. Imagine a warehouse, hidden in a remote location, far from the prying eyes of the public. It is filled to the rafters with boxes. Inside these boxes are coats of pristine wool, shoes of Italian leather, scarves of the finest cashmere. They are flawless, they are new, but they are last season. In the logic of luxury, scarcity creates value. If these items were to flood the market, if they were to be sold at a discount, the magic of the brand would be broken. The illusion of exclusivity would shatter. So we witness a solemn ritual, the ritual of destruction. See the incinerators glowing in the dark, hungry mouths of fire. The boxes are brought forward, the beautiful coats, the perfect bags, are tossed into the flames. It is a tragic pyre. Watch as the silk curls and blackens, turning to ash. Watch as the leather shrinks and burns. The smoke rises into the night sky, carrying with it the ghost of the labor that made it, the water that grew the cotton, the dye that colored the thread. All of it returned to the air as smoke, simply to protect a price tag. It is a heavy thought to hold, the idea that destruction is used to maintain worth, that we would rather burn the fruit of the earth than let it be common. Let the smoke drift away, dissolving into the stars. We move on to another landscape, one that is perhaps the most surreal of all. We find ourselves in a desert, the Atacama, or perhaps the outskirts of a city in Ghana. The wind blows across the sand, kicking up dust. But as we look closer, the dunes are not made of sand. They are made of clothes, hills and valleys of fabric stretching for miles. This is the final resting place of the fast fashion and the luxury mistakes that didn't make it to the incinerator. It is a graveyard of trends. Walk among these dunes in your imagination. You see a sleeve of a jacket reaching out from the pile, a button glinting in the moonlight, a label fluttering in the breeze. These garments, once designed with such care, once photographed for glossy magazines, are now slowly returning to the earth. But synthetic fibers do not decay like leaves. They sit and they wait. They will be here for hundreds of years, a geological layer of polyester and nylon. It is a silent testament to the speed of our consumption. We buy, we wear, we discard. And the earth holds the weight of our fickleness. The silence here is different. It is the silence of abandonment. The wind whistles through the zippers and the empty pockets, playing a mournful song. It is a place of forgotten desires, where the excitement of the new has come to die. What is the true cost of a garment? Is it the number on the tag, or is it the space it takes up in this desert, the time it takes to unravel? Let us drift away from the waste and turn our minds inward to the psychology that drives this machine. We return to the city, to the boutique window where we started. Why do we want these things? What is the secret whisper that luxury speaks to us? It speaks to our insecurity. It whispers that we are not enough as we are. It tells us that if we hold this bag, if we wear this watch, we will be part of a tribe, we will be safe, we will be admired. The industry understands the human heart. It knows that we crave belonging, and it sells us symbols of status to fill that void. It creates a hunger that can never truly be satisfied because the trends are always changing. The goalpost is always moving. Imagine the boardrooms where these decisions are made, high above the city, in towers of glass and steel. Men and women sit around polished tables, studying charts and graphs. They are not discussing art or beauty or utility. They are discussing planned obsolescence. They are designing things to fall apart or to fall out of fashion. They are engineering the feeling of being out of date. It is a subtle manipulation, a gentle nudge that says, what you have is old, you need the new. This cycle keeps the factories humming, the rivers running with dye, and the fires burning. It is a wheel that must keep turning, fueled by our own desire to be seen, to be valued. But as we stand here in the quiet of our own minds, we can choose to step off the wheel. We can choose to see the object for what it is. Look at the handbag in the window again. Strip away the brand, the marketing, the hype. What is it? It is a container. It is pieces of leather stitched together. It is an object. It is not a soul. It is not a feeling. It is not love. When we see the secrets, the water, the labor, the waste, the manipulation, the object loses some of its power over us. The spell is broken. The glamour fades, revealing the raw machinery beneath. Let your mind drift to the animals involved in this industry. This too is a shadow we must acknowledge. The exotic skins, the furs, the leathers. Picture the crocodiles in the farms, crowded together in concrete pools, waiting for the day they become a purse. Picture the minks in their cages, pacing back and forth. There is a suffering here that is often wrapped in beautiful words like ethically sourced or natural material. But in the quiet of the night, we know that luxury often demands a sacrifice of life. We drape ourselves in the skins of other beings to feel powerful, to feel elegant. But is there elegance in captivity? Is there beauty in the ending of a heartbeat? The industry is changing, slowly. There are whispers of new materials, leather made from mushrooms, silk made from yeast. But the dark momentum of the old ways is heavy and hard to stop. Let us float now to the concept of the counterfeit, the shadow of the shadow. Deep in the back alleys of the world, there is a parallel industry. It mimics the luxury world with frightening accuracy, the super fake. These items are made, sometimes in the very same factories, by the very same hands, using the very same materials. but they leave out the back door instead of the front. They lack the paperwork. They lack the authenticity. It raises a philosophical question that drifts through our minds like a cloud. If the object is identical, molecule for molecule, but lacks the approval of the brand, is it less valuable? This reveals the greatest secret of all. The value is imaginary. The value is a shared hallucination. We agree that the logo makes it worth thousands, while the unbranded twin is worth nothing. It is a game of belief, a religion of commerce. And we are the faithful congregation, tithing our earnings to the gods of fashion, hoping for salvation in the form of a shoe. But salvation does not come in a box. Let us move gently away from the critique and simply observe the craftsmanship again, but this time the true craftsmanship, the kind that is dying out. In the hidden ateliers of Paris, there are still elderly women with bent backs who know how to sew a sequin so it catches the light just so. There are cobblers who know the grain of the leather like the back of their own hands. These artisans are often pushed aside by the demand for speed and profit. The handmade label is often a lie, a finishing touch put on a machine-made product. But the true masters, the ones who have dedicated their lives to the art, they are the tragic heroes of this story. They see their art form being diluted, cheapened, mass-produced. They see the quality declining year after year while the prices rise. They work in silence, their skills fading from the world as they retire, replaced by robotic arms and cheaper labor markets. Let us honor their quiet dedication, even as we question the machine they serve. The night is deepening now. The city lights are blurring. We are drifting further away from the concrete and the commerce, floating back towards a more natural state of being. We have seen the dry fields, the colored rivers, the tired hands, the burning piles, the desert of waste, the boardroom strategies. We have peeked behind the velvet curtain, and in seeing these things, we find a sense of liberation. We realize that we do not need to participate in this cycle of destruction to be whole. True luxury, perhaps, is not something you can buy. True luxury is clean air. True luxury is fresh water. True luxury is time to rest, time to dream, time to be with those we love. True luxury is a mind at peace, free from the constant pressure to acquire, to upgrade, to consume. Imagine yourself wearing a simple garment. Perhaps it is old, perhaps it is mended. It is soft with age, shaped to your body. It carries the memories of the days you have lived in it. It has not harmed the earth to be with you today. It is enough. You are enough. As we begin to close this journey, let the images of the fashion world fade. Let the logos dissolve. Let the neon signs flicker and go dark. Let the noise of the sewing machine slow down and stop. There is only silence now, the deep, restorative silence of the universe. Feel the weight of your own body, resting, supported. You are not a consumer. You are a living, breathing being. You are part of the natural world, not separate from it. The secrets of the industry are heavy, but you do not have to carry them. You can simply observe them, acknowledge them, and let them go. You can choose to walk a different path, a path of gentleness, of consciousness, of simplicity. Let the darkness of the night wrap around you like a blanket woven not of silk or wool, but of shadows and starlight. It is warm, and it is free. Drift deeper into this comfort. The mind is slowing down, the thoughts are becoming sparse, like leaves falling in late autumn. We release the need for the external. We release the need for approval. We turn inward, to the quiet sanctuary of the soul. Here, in this inner space, there are no trends, there are no seasons. There is only the eternal now. Rest in this awareness. The journey is complete. The secrets have been whispered, the truths have been seen, and now there is only rest. Sleep comes gently, like a tide rising, washing away the debris of the day, washing away the wants and the needs, leaving only the peaceful rhythm of your own breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Drift, float, and sleep. The world will turn without your help tonight. The factories may run, or they may stop. The rivers may flow, but you are safe here, in the quiet citadel of your dreams. Good night to the noise. Good night to the glamour. Good night to the secrets. Good night.